A bitten uncle drinks coffee with mushrooms and decides to take over the world. But to do this, he needs to defeat a very fast blue hedgehog and a flying fox. This is the movie Sonic 2. Let's go! Life is in full swing on the mushroom planet. Every mushroom is busy with its own business, and it seems that Sonic is not very popular here. It turns out that this is how Dr. Robotnik has fun. He has been on the mushroom planet for many days in the company of his only friend, a rock named Stone. He drinks mushroom coffee and plays mushroom chess with himself. The coffee, by the way, tastes disgusting. He comes up with a cunning plan and creates a device that uses Sonic the Hedgehog's needle to create a large electromagnetic pulse and loses consciousness from the strongest discharge. But everything works out. The pulse attracts the attention of the Echidna warriors, and with the help of a portal they appear next to the pre-prepared traps. The Echidnas are armed and very dangerous. Despite this, almost all of them fall into the villain's traps. Only one Echidna with lightsabers remains. But she is knocked down by that very stone. Dr. Robotnik rushes to the portal to escape the mushroom planet. However, right in front of him appears a huge red Echidna named Knuckles. And it seems he doesn't like Sonic very much either. Meanwhile, on the ground, the police are chasing armed bandits. Sonic notices this and immediately rushes to help. He adjusts his super-fast sneakers, stretches, and eats a hot dog. In just a second, our hero catches up with the bandits and gets behind the wheel. Sonic gives the criminals a hard race, and the money they stole flies around the street like confetti. In the process, he almost hits a girl on a pedestrian crossing. Is it dangerous? There's a whole bag of explosive devices in the car, and they start to burn. At the last second, Sonic manages to throw them out of the car and rip off the garbage truck. Another bomb gets stuck in his needles, and our hero throws it into the sewer. Sonic is very pleased with himself, but on his way, there appears a street cafe where people are enjoying ice cream. Oh! Sonic finds a screwdriver and disassembles the car on the go. Looks like the boy is now traumatized for life. And remember the bomb that Sonic dropped into the sewers? Well, it exploded and damaged the pipes, which is why water is now pouring out in fountains on the streets. At this point, the police finally catch up with them. Sonic is proud of his exploits, but for some reason people are not at all delighted. Our hero runs through the mountains at the speed of light and returns to his cozy house. Sonic takes out someone's feather and a map with mysterious signs from the knit stand. We learn that this is a feather from an owl named Loneclaw. Tired of his adventures, our hero goes to bed. But he can't do it. First comes the dog Ozzy, and then Sonic is reminded of the meeting with his friend and adoptive father Tom. They are fishing together on the lake. More precisely, only Tom is fishing, and Sonic is sleeping with a fishing rod in his hands and, of course, falls from the boat into the water. It turns out he can't swim. Tom pulls Sonic out of the water and scolds him for his bad behavior. After all, his exploits do more harm than good. In response, our hero uses super acceleration mode and drives the boat all over the lake. Tom and his wife Maddie go to Hawaii for the wedding of Rachel, Maddie's sister. By plane. No, via portal. Convenient. If anything, you can go back at any time using the portal ring. Sonic throws a fun party with songs, dances, and a bunch of different delicious food. He does his hair in a fancy way, rides a skateboard, and uses a portal to steal sweets from the store. Oh, this little hooligan! He makes a terrible mess and turns the house into a real dump. Well, and in the evening there is a foam disco. And all this is, of course, wonderful, but another portal appears on the mountain. From there comes out a cute fox with two tails. He jumps down and flies somewhere, using his tails as a propeller. At this time, Sonic's phone rings, and he cleans the house at the speed of sound and only then answers the call. It's Tom, and he's having a great time. After chatting with his friend, Sonic decides to watch a movie with Ozzy. However, another portal appears outside the window. The lights go out and someone burns out the door handle along with the lock. Dr. Worker appears on the threshold. Sonic attacks him, but Knuckles appears behind the villain and knocks our hero out. 1-0 in favor of Red Echidna. Sonic tries to counterattack, but is defeated again. 2-0. Sonic tries a third time, but Knuckles literally smashes him. Even the workers pop cornflies everywhere. Red Echidna tells Sonic that their people intend to regain their ultimate power. But at that moment, she is hit by a police car. The driver is the same-tailed fox. Sonic jumps into the car, and together they manage to escape from the crazy worker. The fox says his name is Miles, but Sonic calls him Tails. It turns out that the worker and Knuckles are looking for the legendary Master Emerald and think that Sonic can help them find this artifact. Their car is caught by an enraged Knuckles who breaks down the door. The car flies off the road and falls into a cliff, and the fox grabs Sonic and flies with him, using his tails again. However, Knuckles also manages to jump out of the car, so the battle is not over yet. At this time, Boriska receives a signal from Dr. Worker in one of the cafes. Make my latte. This is Agent Stone. The man immediately connects to the satellite using a coffee maker and screams with delight. A spaceship in the form of a huge egg descends to the ground. Dr. Robotnik comes aboard, dons his villainous costume, and surrounds himself with an army of drones. Robotnik finds Knuckles and demands more data on the Master Emerald. They decide to team up to gain ultimate power and destroy Sonic. Our hero and the fox are trying to figure out what Emerald Knuckles was talking about. Sonic shows Miles a map left by his friend Owl. There is indeed an emerald drawn there. Suddenly, the map begins to glow a bright blue light, and a projection of Lone Claw the owl appears above it. She shows him the Master Emerald and says that it has the power to turn thoughts into reality. And now Sonic's task is to find it and protect it from evil hands. The owl disappears, leaving our hero with a blue feather. Sonic looks at the map and realizes that the first clue must be found in Siberia. He opens a portal and jumps there with the fox. At this time, the doctor worker enters the cafe, where Agent Stone is already waiting for him with a cup of coffee. Also, the formidable Knuckles appears in the cafe. The establishment turns into a real laboratory. Unaware of this, Tom plays beach volleyball in Hawaii. However, the game looks more like an attempt to beat Tom with a sword than a competition. Meanwhile, Sonic and the fox are making their way through a Siberian snowstorm and realize that he is lost. Luckily, a Largen appears on their way, and they hurry there to eat and warm up. But it seems they are not very welcome there. Even the fish head advises them to run away from here. The little fox faints, and brave Sonic abandons a table for two. They order fish borscht, and Miles tells them that he is an inventor and has been watching Sonic for a long time. He saw our hero save an entire city from a crazy worker and admires his bravery. At this time, the worker himself and his assistants track the signal of Sonic's mobile phone and find out that he's in Siberia. Our heroes are brought in order in the tavern, and this is clearly not what they wanted. They are indignant and immediately find themselves surrounded by a crowd of angry men who rip their clothes off. The humans decide that they are monsters and want to throw them into the fire. With the help of his translator, the fox cub invites the humans to participate in a dispute. It looks like they are about to fight one of the strongest fighters. The musicians appear, and the menacing man starts dancing. So this is the competition we are talking about. It is a dance battle. But Sonic and Fox aren't doing so well, and they constantly get tangled in Tails' tails. The stern Russian dancer shows our heroes their map and offers to take it away. Sonic switches the music, and together with Fox they show off all their talents. The crowd is delighted, their opponent is shocked, and Tails makes a lot of holograms with his gadgets, and now dozens of Sonics and Foxes are dancing in the tavern. This is a victory, and our heroes have the map again. Sonic and Tails happily hug, and the fox admits that he had no friends because everyone teased him for his extra tail. But thanks to Sonic, he believed in himself. Tails falls asleep, and Sonic tenderly covers his friend with a blanket. In the morning, our heroes fly along the snowy mountains. They find a cave with a huge door in the shape of an owl. Look inside and find themselves in an ancient temple. There they learn the story of the creation of the emerald. It turns out that it was created by the Echidna warriors to defeat their enemies. However, the Owls of the Order of Heroes stole the stone to protect it from evil hands. A long war began between the Echidnas and the Owls. Sonic sees a statue of a giant owl, enters the signs from his map on it, and suddenly the owl's eyes light up green. She spreads her wings and throws them a magic compass that can lead our heroes to the emerald. But at that moment, Worker's drones appear, and with them the villain himself in the company of Knuckles. He attacks Sonic, but he deftly repels his projectile. The owl statue falls, our heroes rush to the exit, the fox flies away, and Sonic conquers the snowy peaks on a homemade snowboard. Dozens of drones fly after him, and our blue hero shoots down some of them with snowballs, deftly maneuvering between their guns. Suddenly, Knuckles catches up with Sonic, knocks him down, and admits that he is the only survivor of the Echidna tribe, since they all died along with the owls. Knuckles was too small then, and they didn't take him with them. But Sonic also lost a close friend then. The little fox hurries to help his friend. Sonic throws him a compass, but it falls into the hands of Dr. Worker. The villains attack our heroes, causing Tails to lose consciousness. An avalanche begins in the mountains. Sonic grabs the fox and slides down the mountain onto parts from a worker's car. At this time, a wedding ceremony is taking place in Hawaii. At the most crucial moment, the phone rings. It's Sonic. He asks Tom to urgently open a portal to Hawaii for him. The man tries to do it, but it seems he has the wrong ring in his hands. The real portal ring is about to appear on the bride's finger. Tom asks the groom to give him the ring, but he, of course, refuses. Tom has to use his fist. He takes the ring, throws it, and immediately a portal appears, through which Sonic and the fox appear along with a whole mountain of snow. Sonic informs Tom about the worker's return and brings Tails to consciousness. Suddenly, he is caught in a net. We learn that almost all the wedding participants are secret agents working for the heroes' organization to protect the nation, or simply gone. Rachel's fiancé is furious, and her wedding was a sham. The agents capture Sonic, Tails, and Tom and lock them in a hotel. Maddie finds the fox's yellow backpack and sees a bunch of gadgets in it. Together with Rachel, they decide to free the prisoners and take revenge on the line groom. Tails' gadgets help them a lot. They send the guards flying and then knocked out. Rachel destroys all the wedding decorations, leaving behind only fire and ashes, and goes to the groom. However, the groom assures Rachel that he loves her. The woman generously forgives him and kisses him sweetly. Meanwhile, Maddie saves Tom, Sonic, and Tails, but it's too early to rejoice. With the help of a stolen compass, the worker and Knuckles find their way to an underwater temple containing the Master Emerald. The temple awakens, warning Sonic and the gone agents of the threat. Agent Stone is arrested by the sheriff. Sonic goes to the temple alone, as the fox is wounded and still very weak. Having reached the sea, he literally rushes through the water at super speed, but is knocked down by the waves and thrown onto the shore. Luckily, our hero is already very close. At this time, the worker and Knuckles overcome all the traps and find themselves in a huge labyrinth. The compass helps them choose the right path. Sonic appears in the labyrinth. Only his super speed saves him from the traps. The worker and Knuckles find the emerald, but Sonic falls on them from above. An enraged Knuckles immediately attacks him, and a real fight for survival begins. They fight with all their might. The worker betrays the Red Echidna, steals the Master Emerald, and disappears, leaving Sonic and Knuckles in the collapsing temple. Sonic saves Knuckles from certain death underwater, but he himself begins to choke from lack of air. Then Knuckles saves Sonic himself and gets out of the temple with him. They make peace and agree to work together to defeat the worker. Tails arrives on a biplane and saves his friends. Dr. Robotnik appears at Agent Stone's cafe and declares that he has reached a new level. The cafe is surrounded by gone agents in their vehicles. Tom's Maddie also arrives. The worker, empowered by the Master Emerald, destroys all of Gon's equipment, breaking it into small pieces, and creates a giant mechanical robot from it that can be controlled from the inside. The villain joyfully dances, realizing all of his power and strength. The mechanical worker runs forward and is ready to destroy everything in his path. A biplane appears from the portal with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. The worker attacks them and throws Sonic down. Knuckles attacks the worker, but their forces are not equal at all. In addition, the villain breaks the biplane, and the Fox Cub miraculously manages to escape. Sonic attacks the worker with his own rocket, but while he has the emerald, he is too strong and cannot be defeated. Sonic suggests that his friends join forces. He distracts the villain, who attacks him with lasers from his eyes, and then with snot rockets. The bridge that Sonic is running on collapses, and our hero falls down, losing consciousness. Fox Cub enters the mechanical robot and creates many holograms of himself. The worker attacks them all, But this was also a distraction. Knuckles appears, attacks the worker, and knocks the Master Emerald out of him. The mechanical robot falls, and with it everyone who was inside. Sonic comes to and sees an emerald in front of him. He crawls towards it, but the mechanical robot rises up behind him again. It looks like he has a backup power supply. A car with Tom and Maddie appears. They manage to save Sonic with the emerald, but the worker destroys their car and is about to crush them. The emerald in Sonic's hands crumbles into a bunch of small stones, which combine and transform our hero into a golden supersonic. He saves Tom and Maddie and, with his new power, destroys the mechanical robot and knocks it to the ground. The worker falls with him. Remember the emerald's powers? It turns wishes into reality. So, thanks to this, Sonic creates a delicious hot dog for himself and wants to treat Knuckles, but something goes wrong. Sonic refuses the emerald's power and gives its fragments to Knuckles, after which he restores the Master Emerald. Since the owls and echidnas are extinct, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles decide to become the guardians of this stone themselves. Our heroes play baseball and then go for ice cream. By the way, the emerald is now stored in Tom's small refrigerator. The Gone agents never found the worker's body, but they did find an old file called Project Shadow. And at the same time, somewhere a capsule with a black and red hedgehog opens. Subscribing to our channel won't give you superpowers, of course, but it will give you the opportunity to regularly receive cool retellings like this one.